Let's get this underway. G'day, Stu from UAV Futures here, and welcome back to the FPV Mix, the live stream where we get together, answer some of your questions, hang out, have some fun on the stream, Google some things, watch some videos, and generally just talk all things FPV. First things first, what we're going to do, we need to do the good old mic check, 1 2 1 2 testing. Can you guys hear me? Fill that comments up. Let me know what's happening here because the last thing I want to do is rambling to myself. If you're just tuning in, what we've been doing lately is some live streams every day at 12 o'clock here. And I believe I'm getting better at this. It's like very, very early morning in the UK and very late in the USA. So Mike is muted. Typical. Oh, no, it's not. Wait, all good. You got me. Oh, it's funny. All right. So there you go. You can turn your sound up there. Dwight, you did trick me. I was like, oh, great, because I did have it muted for a second. And let me just check. Some of these are shortcuts that are working. This is all good. We're all good here. Fantastic. Rightio. We've got Samuel saying he can hear you. Sky and Water, g'day, y'all. And Nathan P. Oh, and also, I should say, if you've got some questions, feel free to fire them in the comments down below. And it is so much easier for me to answer them. I really need to add this in the description. If you need to want me to read something out, or you've got a question for me, tag me with @UAV Futures because it makes it a lot easier for me to see your comments. I can see a few people streaming with their questions in. Nathan P @UAV Futures. Can you always stream at this time? Well, I don't know about always, but definitely it's something I've been trying to do just for like the past week or so to see what's been happening, tuning in with you guys, and yeah, just having some fun. I'm getting distracted looking at my YouTube recommendations over on this window. But yeah, I might think of maybe going a little bit earlier my time as well. So then it's not bang in the middle of the day. I can get up, do my stream, and then still do a video for you guys in the afternoon. All right, Hazard FPV saying he's got no audio, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. Maybe check, mic check, 1 2 3. All right, and we're going to jump in and answer some of these. We've got a few in here. Straight away, first question of the day, Nathaniel P @UAV Futures. What's a good beginner's FPV with 2 to 3S LiPo batteries around 6 to 9 minutes flight times? I want UAV Futures to answer this. So I'm going to burst your bubble here, brother. There is no beginner 2 or 3S battery, which is a good little beginner FPV drone that's going to get 6 minutes of flight time, let alone 9 minutes of flight time. There's absolutely no way you're going to be getting that. You might be looking at 2 to 3 minutes of flight time, and if you want a good beginner one, you're probably better off going like just a normal 5-inch Nazgul. We need a little counter for a Nazgul counter. Ding. Just get that, and that's about $170 US, and it's going to take a 4S battery as well, or even a 6S pack. So there's no real good beginner drone that's going to service that. I get a lot of emails like that actually, of like, hey Stuart, this is what I want, and people have unrealistic expectations of what drones can do or what their capabilities are. So that those flight times, you need to stop thinking about that, especially for I'm just talking a normal, something like this. You're probably looking at about 90 seconds to between 90 seconds and 3 minutes. So it's a 6-minute flight time. Maybe if you went max efficiency and really built around it. I don't think so with a 2S pack, but yeah, let's scroll down. Sorry, I can't answer you too much on that one, Nathaniel. I couldn't give you the answer you were hoping for. Our first super chat of the day. Big shout out to Braden. I think it's Braden Michael. 2 questions. 1, any super tiny LEDs that I can use with a 5-inch with a 4-in-1 ESC? Can FrSky go as far as Crossfire? So I'm going to answer number 2 there first. So when we're talking about FrSky, it's using 2.4 most of the time, unless you want to talk about their R9, but I'm going to guess you're talking about their normal 2.4 things like the XM Pluses and XSRs. There is no way that, and I'm sure 95% of our community would agree, Crossfire is going to go so much further than a standard FrSky 2.4. Now, there are arguments between R9 and Crossfire, and that range is probably going to be very similar. But once I've started working with Crossfire a bit more, and when I say working with, once I've been using that in my craft a little bit more, it's just so much easier to set up. It automatically upgrades or downgrades the receiver. It is just the way Crossfire works is great. And we even did TBS UAV Futures China. Let's see if we can Google this. Long range TBS, maybe I need to Google. Long, help if I could type properly. Here we go. This was a really I got to mute this video. What ad am I going to get today? Let me show you how to create an amazing something. Skip these ads. All right, so this guy here, this is Trappy. He is the owner of TBS, who makes the Crossfire system, and we flew out an awful long way. You can see some buildings in the distance. Let me see if I can get this shot. Maybe it's here. Yeah. We didn't do it. We didn't record this, and we didn't do it on this day. But I do know he was talking about sometimes him and his friends have flown out, dove these buildings, and then flown back. So that's mainland China over here. This is Hong Kong, where we are. But we flew this bad boy out an awful long way. This is over 10 kilometers range using the Crossfire system. And I got to say, yeah, R9 might be able to do it. Crossfire is definitely going to be where it's at. This was actually a really, really fun video. Listen, it's also was super windy. It had my GoPro on board. I thought Trappy had lost it because we thought the plane had crashed at some part. Any super tiny LEDs I can use for a 5-inch with 4-in-1 ESCs. So, Braden, what sort of LEDs are you wanting? I know you say super tiny with a 4-in-1 ESC. You can always solder in some other ESCs that might be a little bit larger. My favorite ESCs that are ridiculously bright, and I use them for my studio. I think they're called RC Timer LEDs. I don't know if they make them anymore. RC Timer LEDs for your drones. Maybe this will be the very first link. Let's have a look. Sorry, the page. Sorry, cannot find the page you visit. Please retry later. Okay, that didn't work very well. Let's see if we can get some images. So maybe if I put drone after it. All right, and keep firing your questions down below too for everybody else. Welcome. Maytech. Here we go. Got them. Oh, they're on bangers. Okay, these are my all-time favorite ESCs, all-time favorite LEDs. These things here are ridiculously bright, and I actually use these. I power them by LiPo. If you look at my studio when you're watching me in front of my, and of course they're out of stock or something's not happening here. I don't know why I can't click on the buy now, but this is what I use to light up the background of my studio when I'm filming. So you see one side's blue, one side's red. It's these. They're extremely rare. And probably my favorite color on here is this orange one. It is very, very cool stuff. But hopefully that answered your question. Thank you very much for the first super chat of the day. Let's move on and answer Alex's question at UAV Futures. Hey Stu, are you flying outside at the moment? Nope. I am stuck indoors and it is killing me. I have never been so itching to get out, get flying, and not just because I've got a lot of work to do, but because I want to go flying. It's killing me being stuck indoors. And yeah, I wish I could get out and fly. This stupid virus definitely has us all in on a lockdown. Samuel Tucker says at UAV Futures, what's your favorite part of your job as a YouTuber? I would say the best bit about my job is being passionate about what I do every single day. Like I would do this stuff in my free time. Before this was my career, this is what I was doing for fun anyway. So the best bit of it's just work doesn't feel like a drag. You know, you just want to come in here, do some work, talking to you guys, and so not only are you working on your passion, but another bit that is really rewarding for me is seeing how much FPV changed my life, and then knowing that I'm changing other people's lives in such a positive and powerful way by sharing this message to them. Maybe without my videos, they might not have seen FPV drones, or I might have been the catalyst that got them into the hobby, that got them out, that got them meeting people. You never know just how much these silly little flying robots can change somebody's life. And yeah, that's probably the best bit, knowing that at the end of the day, I believe the world is a better place because of FPV, and I've been privileged enough to be in a position where I can share that message. So yeah, that's the best part as my job. It's also pretty cool that I get to fly these really fun little things for a job. I get paid to fly these things around and test this cool tech, and that's definitely cool. But it's not the coolest part. The coolest part is definitely the life-changing sharing message part and working with something that I'm extremely passionate about. So let's have a look here from Mr. Cornbread at UAV Futures. Would you take an Eachine Tyro 99 over the smaller 79? I bought the 99 because of review. I love your work. So you know what I would take? I would take the original UAV Futures 99 over the Tyro 99. The one thing I didn't like about the Tyro 99, I thought the camera could do with a little bit of a change. The 79, I thought that I wasn't really a big fan of that one. I know a lot of people. Why does Domino's keep sending me these pop-up messages? I bought one Domino's pizza one time, and now I must have clicked leave notifications on. So I need to technical support, please. Can you come and fix this up on my computer? It is very annoying. But every day about this time, lunchtime, sends me. Do you want to buy a pizza? No. Anyway, I would say it depends what you want. If you want to fly the 79, it's really, they're both, you're talking a 3-inch or 5-inch. It shouldn't be the 79 versus the 99 specifically for the Tyro. It should be, where are you going to be flying this? What are you going to be doing with it? How big is the park you're going to be doing? So let's have a look at the different Tyros here. And I swear Benger's copied my idea of, a $99 build. Here we go, the Tyro 99 for 101.97. That's the 5-inch one we're talking about, and there should be a smaller one somewhere, which of course doesn't come up when you search for it. But this one here, I'd probably take this one, to be honest. It was very, very easy to build, but why? Look how they've got that stupid VTX strapped to the top. There's some really dumb ideas that they've done there, didn't they? They could have just asked one. They should have just sent me an email. Hey, we're going to build a drone. Is this a good idea? Like, anyone would think that's. What were they doing there? All right, but thank you for those questions, people. Let's have a look here. Mr. Cowley. Oh, scroll down. Oh, we got Nick. Thank you very much for the fist pump again, brother, from FPV Nick. Very much appreciated. I like the little emojis you can put beside them. Give me the double fist pump, actually. Let's have a look. I did scroll down and miss some questions. That was. How about all the 2-inch stuff? Look what Flight Test just did a video on. So what are we talking about? Like toothpicks and stuff? I think we've been flying around in our community for a fair while with some toothpicks. It all kind of started with the Mobula 7 back in the day. And then we decided to put it on some carbon frames. Bob's your uncle. We're off to the races. We're all having fun outdoors, ripping around these fun little quads. Crash Junkie 1980. So let's have a look. 40 years old today, brother, if that's when you were born. Do you have to show that drone every time? Just picking from whoever asked yesterday. What, the Tyro 99? Did we show that yesterday? Did we talk about this? I think I guarantee what's going to come up is the Nazgul, is the TBS Tango 2. What else we talk about? Someone's probably going to ask about batteries, and we'll end up Googling them, and then we'll find out about, what were those ones on special? Was it the green and yellow ones? R-lines? Might have been the R-lines or tattoos or something. Anyway, Bob, not your uncle in Colorado here. Okay, let's keep scrolling down. Thank you for your questions coming in. Dwight Schrute is in here again. John's jumping in. Corpse FPV. A bit of a morbid handle. Carlos D. Got any backpacks you're willing to sell? So the first one is no, I do not have any backpacks. Won't be selling anything. If not, would you recommend? I'm thinking a low pro backpack. This is something that I want to say. What are you doing? Low pro. How much is a low pro drone bag? Okay, we've got $100 on Oz sales. So hopefully this has got to be in AU. So there we go, $100. Honestly, I really think that the best backpack you can get is this one right here. It is an Eachine bag and drone bag. Let's see if this comes up. I'm not sure what to search for it. And I'm sure some people can fill the comments with it. If you have one of these, let's say backpack. Backpack. Is that 2 words, 1 word? Typical. Maybe let's have a look if I can find one on one of my videos. Ah, here it is. Look at this. It was on the front page actually. This one here. So this bag, although that price, sometimes you can get these at $50 when you could get these around. Went through on. Oh, that's 98. What are they in the US? Let's have a look here. That low pro bag is looking a lot better, actually. So 60 US dollars. I've seen these as low as sometimes 50 or $43 on special. See if you can get some coupons or something like that. What is it in China? This is my favorite bag to use. It's not any cheaper in China as well. This must be just for, it's cheaper actually to buy it from the US warehouse. But yeah, I used to have two of these backpacks because they're just amazing. They last really well. I had one for micros, one for outdoors. Shout out to Rod FPV. I've given him one. But yeah, I've got all the backpacks. I've had Betaflight backpacks. I've had the Turnigy backpacks from Hobby King, which are another good choice if you get one of them on special. But this backpack, it's lasted. It comes with an inbuilt tool thing, which I really like, and overall, probably my favorite, my bag of choice anyway. And it's crazy that it still is an Eachine bag. What we should do, I'll have a look here and see if we can find the Turnigy drone bag. And a backpack is one of the most important things that you can get. Turnigy drone bag. I don't know. Yeah, have a Google for some at Hobby King as well because there is also, it's like a big green one. All right. Uh, Nathaniel P at UAV Futures. What's your rating on the Hubsan H122D? Is there any way people can switch the props on it to a tri-blade? H122D. And thank you for tagging me, H122D. Let's have a look. What type of drone is this? Oh, jeez. Mate, if you're watching, this type of drone here. I'm sorry to say that drone is garbage. I think I used to have one of those back in the day. It was sent for review. It never even got. Look at that controller as well. It's made out of a bit of foam, and I think Trevor had the brushless version one. Just keep the props that are on it. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. Like this is the sort of product I want to encourage people to avoid buying. So when they say, "Hey, we're going to buy some FPV drones," these are the types that are not good value. All right. Are you flying indoors at the moment? From Alex. Well, you know what? I need to get my Mob 6 back off Trevor. So Grumpy Trev, if you're watching, you grumpy bugger, send me my drone back, please, because that Mob 6, I'm missing it. I want to fly it around. Younger Buckets is saying, at UAV Futures, I was flying around today and my drone randomly failsafed about 20 feet in the air and luckily didn't break anything. But do you know why that happened? It could have been a few things. Could have been a bit of a brownout. Maybe you have a loose radio connection. Maybe your antennas got chopped. Uh, I'm not 100% sure. I was flying today 20 feet away. So was it outdoors in a heavy RF environment? There's a whole range of different things that could be. Maybe try rebinding, updating your firmware. And if it was on one of those little micro inbuilt RF boards, like the ones that have the little inbuilt receiver, that could also be a bit of a problem because they are notorious for dropouts on some of them. Okay, let's have a look. Australia is more strict than us. That's from Challenge Accepted. Thanks for tuning in, Challenge Accepted. Challenge you tomorrow to tune in. Malice Vex, yes, he went flying yesterday. You're in a different state, brother, so your laws are a little bit more relaxed. Plus, I saw your latest video, and you got busted by the Rangers. So yeah, you got caught flying, so you got in trouble. So it'll be even worse down here. Um, in the US, you don't have to stay inside, you just have to stay away from others. Cody is asking, on RSSI, my OSD signal says 30%, even though my quad is right beside my transmitter. Doesn't seem to drop below 20% when I'm ripping flying the XM Plus with the jumper. I don't know why that is. I'm sorry, I cannot help you. To be honest, when it comes to telemetry and the XM Pluses, I'm not sure if you had to do a hack to get some of those working and it didn't work out of the box. And it's one of the reasons why I found FreeSky just seems to be dropping the ball compared to Crossfire. But I'm not sure why it doesn't drop at all. So does it ever go higher than 30%, or just that's it? It's a flat 30% all the time. Maybe there could be a little setting in Betaflight you need to change, possibly on the. I know you can adjust the telemetry to a certain channel. I don't know if it's like channel 12 by default or something like that. Younger Buckets. Stu, I got my things today and I went flying. I was flying in line of sight and tried to do a barrel roll and it just cut the whole battery cable. Do you know what happened? Yes. You tried to do a barrel roll and you cut the whole battery cable. So what I would say here, Something you need to be really careful of is when you're flying. Often, what I will do is you need to make sure when you plug your battery in, it might look like it's out of the props, but if you're doing some hard maneuvers, it's going to be moving left and right, and you need to make sure there is no way that battery lead can fall into the props. And also, what you need to do is make sure the balance lead that is connected to it is tucked away as well. So sometimes some people thread them through the Velcro strap here. You can tuck them actually between the two, the positive and negative leads. You can tuck the battery lead, the balance lead in there, and you just want to make sure that it's not going to fall into the prop. So that's what happened. You've probably had your battery lead hanging out. You tried to do a roll. It stayed stationary for a second. It's got cut up, and that's why it's got chewed up in the props and fallen out of the sky. So bit of a beginner mistake, but don't worry. It'll only take 1 or 2 times, and you'll learn not to do that again. Samuel Tucker. Bro, love that answer. I feel that way about my work. Oh, thank you. Talking about YouTube and what you get to do when it comes to sharing this amazing hobby with as many people as I can. Mish moves. So shout out to Hamish there. He wants to rip his 5-inch so bad. I went for a bike ride and flew my 2-inch at a few spots by myself on Monday though. Yep. Well, as long as the cops don't roll up on you, you should be okay. What's the best 3-inch bang for your buck from Mr. Cowley and his drone? I still really like the XJB. I feel like that's pretty good for the $150 price. Aaron Sarah at UAV Futures. What beginner FPV kit, Emax, Tiny Hawk, Happy Model Mantis, etc., would you recommend? So we're looking at these three. Let's have a look. We've got the Eachine Novice. Let's have a look. Just this one here. So we're going to go beginner kit. So you've got 2 different options here, or there's one with a better radio, but it's a bit more pricey. I'll open this in a new tab. We're having a look at. Do not get the Mantis. That's not a good one at all. Or the Emax Ready to Fly, or this one. So one is, why is this one 179? That one's 155. What's the difference there? 11 plus 37. Well, let's go the cheaper one, eh? Ready to Fly. That's in AU. What about if we ship from China? Okay. 155 bucks, $149. I think this one is a much better choice. By far, I'd be getting this one if I was getting someone into the hobby. Just look at the radio. It is slightly better quality, and it runs on an 18650, and the same with the goggles. When it comes to this one, this just runs with like some, look at even the stick sizes, and it's just, you can see it's a much cheaper radio. The goggles are much smaller. You're going to get a better field of view. Let's have a look at the field of view. Hopefully this doesn't make me a liar here, but goggles resolution 480 by this. Does it give you a screen size? 140 millimeters. Goggles. Okay, maybe and a 3. What's 140 millimeters in here? So in my experience anyway, these goggles, they pressed into your face and they were far more uncomfortable than the Emax one. I would be getting the Emax, this version right here. Okay, what is the best Whoop drone? Is it the Mobula 6? That's from Musa, and I'd say, yep, I would say that you are right. At the moment, if I just had to choose one for indoor fun flying, that would be it. Younger bucket, Stu, I got my things that. Oh, that we already answered that one. Let me scroll down here a little bit. Good afternoon. So welcome, Kobe. What's the time over there? Lazy FPV, you and Bardwell got me flying. Yes, I've learned a lot from Bardwell as well. He's done some great videos. When I need to learn something, definitely do a bit of a Google. And his name is right up there with some of the others, like also Andy RC, Drone Camps. There's been quite a few people actually who've helped me stay flying. Cooper Highland. I just bought the Eachine Whoop camera, and I bought a Eachine goggles, and I can't connect them. Any tips for a complete noob? Okay. What do you mean you can't connect them? Like the drone won't connect, or you just can't seem to get a signal? Make sure they are both charged up. If you an Eachine Whoop camera, what do you mean? Can you give me a bit more information, please? Eachine Whoop camera. Like what specifically am I talking about? Are you talking about something like this? You don't know how to connect one of these little cameras? Because you should. All you have to do is power it up, if that's what you're talking about. So a little bit more info, and we should be able to help you. All right, and Echo B is saying the XJB 145 is king. Absolutely, very fun, little fast drone. Let's see if we can find one of those as well. XJB 145. I reckon we might even be able to see. Let's see, drone camps. Let's have a look at his video. He is saying, this is in 2017, it's a beast. So Justin Davis did enjoy it. Let's jump straight to the flight footage. Where's he putting it? Let's go to, here we go, 15-minute mark. It's definitely got, probably, I'm going to guess, a fair bit of pop. And it still holds up to this day. This is a really fun little drone. It has a nice camera on here. And man, just even watching this flight footage makes me want to get outside and get flying. So definitely, you can even Google it, watch a few videos of it. But yeah, the XJB 145 is an awful lot of fun. How fast did we get it? Look at this. This is 2 years ago. We're amazed. This video down here in the bottom right hand corner. 87 miles per hour, which is, I don't know what, 105 kilometers. If someone could let me know that. Took a bit of a Google. Let's find that out. Dwight Schrute is asking, and thanks so much for all your questions too, Dwight. Thanks for tuning in each day. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Do you think that 4-inch quads are going to be the new trend in the future? The Emax Baby Hawk for its insane size. So this is what Calvin thought, and this is what I was kind of not on the fence, but I was excited to see where it would go. So Emax 4-inch. They just seem to miss the boat. 4 inches were really, really popular a little while ago, but I don't think nowadays that they're going to be coming in, and this is for a few reasons. So this drone here is a 4-inch racing drone, and it is, look, it just, nowadays 3 inches are so good, Toothpicks are so good, or if you're going to go a bit big, you might as well just have a 5-inch you can stick your GoPro on the top. The 4-inch really had its space when none of the smaller quads were quite nearly as fast as they are today, and they were a lot of fun. But nowadays it's either you want a GoPro or a little 3-inch can be oftentimes faster than this thing, like the Diatone 369 or 349. This is just it's kind of stuck in this awkward middle space. It's like, it's not a bad drone, but I don't think it's going to be as popular as some of the others, because 4 inches, whatever the purpose of a 4 inches, it is better suited by, it's like the jack of all trades, master of none. Even though I know that's not the correct saying, but it doesn't, there's things that fulfill the other roles a bit better. Let's see, scrolling down here. Who had a question about the RXSI with XM Plus? That's from Jerry. So if that was you, I can't remember who asked that question, but they're wondering why it was stuck on 30% all the time, Jerry. Echo B is saying, I've had 3 XJBs, all good out of the box, except for the pilot. Yes, that would also shout out to Raven FPV for he crashed his, I think, and it didn't end up well, but that's what happens when you crash it into cement or asphalt or something like that. All right, Carlos D is chiming in here talking about get your own radio and goggles. Okay, and Dustin, thanks very much for that super chat, brother. $1.99. That's going to definitely help out. You might think, every little bit really does add up, especially in times like this when we are stuck indoors. So thank you very much for supporting the channel and helping me share this message of FPV. If you got any questions, fire them down below, brother, and I will do my best to answer them and hopefully help you out, but also help some others, so those people watching at home. All right. Hazard FPV, 87 miles is 140 kilometers. Wow, I was way off. That's a pretty quick little drone then. That drone's going 140 Ks. John Phaser is saying, and like my t-shirt today, I feel like every day we've got to wear a different drone t-shirt. So today it is a Catalyst Machine Works. Freedom isn't free. It cost about $40. So that's I'll cost about $70 actually. That's what it says right there. John Phaser is saying, just ordered the Mob 6 Tyrannus X9 Lite Hawkeye goggles. Thanks for the videos. It really helped with the decision. Mate, you are going to have a lot of fun. So this is going to be brilliant for you flying around. those goggles, they're my favorite value goggles. The Hawkeye None VRs, absolutely fantastic. And they were going to be a joke, turned out to be amazing. And especially if you're stuck inside, they Mob 6, which version did you get? You're going to enjoy it because whether it be the 25,000 kV, which I feel like is a bit overspec, it's a bit too crazy for me. I like the 19,000 kV version. But regardless, either way, you're going to have an awesome time. Alrighty-o. Skylar Romero. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Thank you very much for your super chat. And he is saying, "What's up, Stu? You're doing a great service for the hobby. Hope the family is doing well." So not even a question there. What's going on, Skylar? You just that's too nice of a human being, you guys. Just with some of these super chats, not even with a question in there. Don't even need my help. Just give me a couple of bucks just to say thank you. So I want to say thank you very much to you guys. Hugely appreciated. Yeah, it's nice. So thank you. And even for those people just putting comments in, even if you guys viewing at home, whether it be super chat, not super chat, I just want to say thank you because it goes both ways. It's all about sharing this amazing hobby, and that's the pleasure is all mine. So thank you very much, Skylar. BMS Web, hey buddy, hope you and the fam is doing well. Now, if anybody knows, that's a bit of royalty we have in the chat right here. So BMS Web, Paul. And and Tom are absolute amazing pilots, and I should say, most of all, amazing people. And Thomas has been flying around. He's probably the #1 pilot, I would say, arguably in Australia. Or I know I might be a little bit faster than him oftentimes, but we don't put that on. We don't want to rub that in too much. But if we're not talking nonsense, definitely BMS Web. Go check those guys out. We've got some videos. Actually, one of my most popular videos, and I didn't know it was going to be at the time. But anytime Thomas is in my videos, we seem to get some crazy amount of views. So if we just go here to my channel, check this out. My channel. Let's sort by popular videos and look at this. So, racing Australia's fastest drone pilot. That was 3 years ago. I wonder who's in that video. Let's have a look. And of course, we're meeting up with Thomas right here. So having a chat. Look at how short my hair was then, and also how skinny I was before 2 kids. So that's there. So that's my 5th most popular video of all time. And then, look at this one, $80,000 micro FPV drone. Let's see who we can find in this video somewhere here. So just a good luck charm. So Paul, if it's okay, I might just borrow Thomas to be in all my videos because it would probably help me out immensely with the channel. So it would be very much appreciated. I'll send you a couple of royalties. I'm sure we can figure something out. And Thomas, it's not like Thomas can go outside at this time anyway. So, I'm sure we'll figure something out. But in all seriousness, go check those guys out. I have nothing but respect and love for those people. Very, very a nice, kind family. Cooper, moving on before I'm getting too sentimental. Cooper is asking, at UAV Futures, it's the Eachine TX06 and the goggles are the EVs 800Ds. Okay, we're going to have a Google of this. And we're going to have a look. The screen is black when the camera is on and it goes static when it's off. I purchased 3 of these cameras and they all do this. Okay, let's have a Google. See if we can help. Okay, so this looks like the one we clicked on before. Okay, what I'm going to say, you probably, if you're new to this, Cooper, I'm using simple antennas, both the goggles and the camera. Mate, I honestly think that you just have the wrong setting on your goggles. So have you tried changing the channels on your goggles or changing the channel on your VTX? Because you need to read the manual, match it up, make sure, for example, if it says Fat Shark 1 5740, that is the correct setting that is set on this little camera, and then set your goggles to Fat Shark 1 5740. Otherwise, it's going to be, it's just not going to be a good time. Make sure they're getting the correct voltage, and make sure your goggles aren't set on something like AV in or some channel that is not available. So I don't know if the AV 800s do, say, for example, race band or one of the weird E bands or a low band. Make sure whatever that's on, it's compatible with the camera. So make sure they both are on a channel that they can pump out. So, and then I would say it's going to be sorted. And you can even just test that. You don't have to plug any of this stuff in. You can just test it by plugging in your just power up the camera with a little LiPo. You don't even need to have it connected to your flight controller or anything like that. Okie dokie. Let's do a quarantine lockdown build. That's from Mr. Bartlett right there. So possibly that could be an idea. Alex, we've got a few people tuning in here. Alex, faint enable. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Jumper T16 RX loss issue. Is the jumper 16 or is that jumper's T16 or FreeSky XM Plus receiver issue? Have 3 receivers, did frequency fine tune. You know what? I have actually, so if you watch some of my videos, before I made the switch to Crossfire, we had here jumper T16 UAV futures. We have this video here. Stop getting failsafes. So stop getting failsafes. Is my jumper T16 breaking? Because you know what? I started to have this issue after a little while. You can Google this video where we do talk about the frequency fine tuning, but I started to get some fail safes when I was flying mine around, and I wasn't too sure what. It didn't happen straight away. It was after quite a few hours of use, but it was getting a bit sketchy flying it over water, and there's some places where I was getting fail safes where I shouldn't have been. So definitely, I think you can even see one here at the start of this video. Check this out, and then shouldn't be RX loss. So probably the same thing is happening to you. And it was on XM pluses, and I'm not too sure what the problem could be. So maybe they were just breaking. I'm not too sure, but it's concerning to me if you're getting that happening as well. So it seems like it wasn't just me who was having that situation. But did it start happening straight away, or has it just come in over time? That would be some data that would also be a little bit useful. Lollipop has been I think that's meant to be Lollipop. Has been watching UAV Futures non-stop. Thank you very much. Other people are asking. Mangled Prop is asking for a quarantine, a live stream build. We've got to get out for a fly sometime too, brother. If this is who I think it is, you're probably stuck at home as well. Sky High UAV. What is your favorite soldering station? What kind of tip do you use on most builds? So you cannot go past this for all you soldering fiends. Have a guess with me in the chat. What do you think it's going to be? I'm going to Google it. 3, 2, 1. Here it is, the TS100. It is $50. And what is it in the US warehouse, actually? $50. This is the best soldering iron. This is what I use all the time. So because it's so convenient, all you simply do is plug it in. You can charge it off your LiPo. See this little, it doesn't come with a cable though, which kind of sucks. Excuse me, gee. But you plug it in and then that's it. You're off. It can be charged on anything. You can do your soldering. And if you're in the field, here's the best bit. You throw it in your backpack. You go out to the field. Oh no, who's broken something? Probably Granger. Actually, no, that's not fair. It's probably Jono. Jono has broken something. Let's, what's Jono broken? He's broken something of mine. Doesn't matter. Let's solder it together and get back in the air, back to having fun. This is the best soldering iron. I actually have a different soldering station that I use, and that's just because that one's plugged into the mains, but I actually prefer just soldering with this one and the default tip that it came with. All right, I'm going to answer some of these other questions. Man, I've never had so many super chats coming in. So Plummet FPV is saying, sup, bro. Thank you very much for your donation. And I followed that on with Hazard FPV. Stu, you're a legend, mate. Please accept this for all your help you've provided over the years. What's going on? This community's being way too kind. We're throwing out some super chats in here, and it's just nothing but support and love. So if you've got any questions, please, guys, let me give back a little bit more. Ask some questions. If I can help in any way, please throw it down below, and I would do my utmost to help out. And that goes for everybody in here as well. If you've got some questions, put them down below. But thank you very much to Hazard, FPV, and Plummet. That's very, very kind of you, and it really does make a difference in these times. And hopefully you're enjoying these live streams, because even though I can't get out and fly, I still want to help people with their hobby. They might be in a different situation. They might be stuck on one thing and they need a little bit of help. And this is, I guess, a chance for me to just directly interact with the special people who are here watching these streams. So let's scroll down a little bit. FPV Nick, this sport is draining. Is also giving me a super chat with, this sport is draining the bank, Stu. Bob's your uncle. Yep. Actually, you know what? I should be saying Brad's my uncle. Brad's my uncle here, because that is actually my uncle's name. Shout out to him who wouldn't even know how to turn on a computer and use YouTube. But there you go. There's your one. Shout out, Brad. But also, yes, Bob's your uncle. FPV Nick, thank you very much for your super chat as well. Braden Scott is saying, what do I do if I'm bored, quarantined, and want to get into FPV, but I am basically broke? So what you need to do is binge watch a bunch of videos, jump over and try some of the free sims. So Bradley, something like FPV FreeRider has a free demo that you can use. Or if you want to try a sim that's also a bit of a game, you are not going to go wrong if you get the DCL sim, because that's a good transition. I feel like people will be enjoying that one when it is between a sim that's a little bit arcadey, and also you're going to learn a lot of muscle memory and on the sticks. Just practice, fly around on the sim, and most importantly, if you're a bit bored and you just want to learn about FPV, this goes for everybody here. We have the Discord where people are pretty much on here all day talking things FPV. We had, I guess, I don't know what we're having a discussion of here. Someone, what was 14 kilometers away, flying around. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of members in here, 13,000 FPV pilots, and we just get in there, talk FPV. We are in these chats pretty much daily. These are some voice chats over this side as well. And I'm sure if I jumped in there, other people would jump in and could possibly hijack this live stream. So we're not going to be jumping in there, but definitely check these out. The link's in the description up above. So Discord, an amazing place with some amazing people. Okay, let's move on. These super chats are big in my screen. So still, thank you so much to those people who have donated. We've got Malice Vex, UAV Future. What year was the moon landing? Are we doing like a trivia question without me? You know what? I've heard some good interview questions where what you do, you have Siri sitting down here, and if someone's giving you, say, "Oh, that's a good question," and hold down the button. What year was the moon landing? And then it should be searching for it. I don't know. What are we? I'm going to say 65. Let's Google. I'm going to Google that. When did we land on the moon? Moon landing. First moon landing. 69. Whoo, I was pretty close. That's pretty good. We had this awesome moon exhibition actually that came around Australia and stopped in my city. I went and visited that. That's I actually do really like space. That could almost be another. I have a really old school telescope. Here we go. We're about to get derailed here. Sentimental with Stew Sundays. That's a great title. Oh, I should. What time? What time in the stream are we? How many minutes we've been going? Because that's kind of funny. Sentimental with Stew Sundays. Here we go. I can remember this story. I'm out at my dad's house. I must have been about, and I don't know. This could have had something to do with aviation and flying. Who knows? And it might have been about 1 o'clock in the morning. I had the telescope out in the backyard. It was probably about, I don't know. I'm going to guess between 12 and 14, some age in there, and I'm just looking at some of the stars and getting the telescope out by myself, having a look. And I remember having a look, and I'm like, "What is that?" Looking down this, it was quite a big telescope, and it was kind of amazing because it was this really old school Japanese telescope too. It was from like the 80s, but it was super powerful. It was a really long one, and it said, I don't know what it said on the side, but I remember looking at this, looking here down this little, yeah, I don't know, I'm getting distracted, but looking up at this star, and I'm looking closer. I focus it in with like these massive little twisty, turny knob things, and then all of a sudden I'm like, man, what is that around that? And I couldn't believe it. I could actually see, it was Saturn, and you could see the rings around it. So you could clearly see these little rings around this planet. I was like, man, that's it. It's really there. That's amazing that I can see the rings of Saturn. So I can remember. And then I was like, man, I'm going to go try and find Jupiter or Google, and you could actually see the colors. And that kind of blew my mind that you could do that from the backyard and be able to see it with such clarity. Not when you look at the moon, of course, you can all look at the moon with a telescope. That's really impressive, and the detail that you can see is outstanding. But to be able to find another planet, another lunar body in our solar system, about to Google it, I guess it had a profound impact on me. And I do really like space exploration and I guess sci-fi, and I find that stuff exciting. I'm getting way too good one, Malice Vex, for totally side tracking the stream. We're going to jump back in, get on to back to answering some questions. Crash Junkie 1980, why are you not plugging Trashcan? It's great, and you had a review of it. I love it. I'm so glad you love yours. This is, and look, it's not bad, but that's this drone that Trashcan's talking about right here. I don't know what they're talking about with the name. The name is so dumb. I really did like this drone. Unfortunately, of course, things seem to explode when we're hanging out with Wingman Jono, and I flew mine full speed into. It's like, you know, those signs you see at parks and reserves. There was like a thick wooden fence sign. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a cool racetrack. Tried to zoomed under it about twice. Full stick, smashed it, and it exploded into about a million bits. The frame was fine. The motors was everything seemed to be fine except the board actually was the actual main flight controller board was broken. So that's why you don't see me flying mine around too much, Crash Junkie, because it's with Jono and we pushed it a little bit too hard. I sent it a little bit too hard there, boys, and it broke. Yeah, I needed like a soundboard or something where I can play some of this. I need a soundboard and also a quick switchboard. I should just have some pictures on here when I can answer some quick questions where I push a button and it just goes to, oh look, here's the Nazgul page, here's the Tango 2 page, here's the Tiny Hawk page, something like that. Also, I think we might have a document with Raven up there somewhere, maybe in the description, and it goes through a whole bunch of things. Okay, Echo B at UAV Futures. Your favorite FPV camera is probably the Ratel. And Moon Runner, besides, I like you saying at UAV Futures, but I like your name there. How apt when we're talking about the moon. What is your time to beat on the FPV Air UAV test track? I actually don't know. We should fire that up and have a go. What time are you getting? Because one thing I really did like about that, it felt good on the sticks and the actual flow. First time on that sim, on that track, I knew where to go. And even though there's not the river and there's not all the trees to fly around, it has the same general layout. It is. Let me know what you think about that track as well, because I felt like it was a really fun track to fly. TSM hype. Oh, you're answering somebody else. Let's have a look. The team at UAV Futures. Do you think you can build a better cinema drone than the Mavic Mini for the price? Absolutely not. So this is going to answer. I get a few emails like this about Stuart. People don't know too much about drones, but I've got to commend them. They're trying to learn, and which is a huge part of my channel. They say I want to do all these specs, and they want to spend a bud. They think I can build them a $99 drone that can carry a camera and fly for 20 minutes. It's not the case. Sorry, guys. You really can't beat DJI as a camera platform for the price. It's the software is the expensive part, and that's if I had to go out and even with all my knowledge of how drones work and the components and everything, and I wanted a camera platform, I would still, for my uses, just get something from DJI. Maybe if you really knew about programming and you wanted to do a custom special rig, but then it's going to cost you probably even more money as well. Jack Coulter is asking, DC5 or Armaton Mamute, which is how you say it in France. Just bought the Flywood Chaser, then saw your vid. Hope they replace the motor for you. Yeah, I don't know what happened with my. Actually, I do know what happened. Let's have a look, guys. Let's watch this together. Flywoo UAV futures. And we just have to look at the thumbnail. And, oh, look, what's that? Thanks, Jono. You've broken my drone. We're seeing a bit of a trend happening here, so really throwing Jono under the bus. I love that man. Like a brother. We just got to get him off playing Monster Hunter because that's what he's been doing an awful lot lately. But we've got to get him back out. He wants a quarantine, so we're going flying. But yeah, they didn't replace the motor, but I don't expect them to either. You know, we reviewed the quad, and that's how it went. And unfortunately, one of my motors broke. As far as the DC5 or the Mamute, I would probably say the Marmot. All right, and pressing this button right here. Leonard Zach, thinking about the Emax Buzz for the first 5-inch. Any better options in this price range? Yes, there is some significantly better ones in that price range because the Emax Buzz is 350 US dollars. Let's have a guess. $300. For $300, you might even be able to get a Sedora. 289. So I'd say this. There you go. That's going to be a much nicer craft for probably, or if you can get Nazgul 5. Of course, it's not going to show up. I think you have to put a 5 like this. There we go. or you could get one of these. You can see it's pretty cheap at around the $200 marks. You know what we're going to do? I am going to have a quick lube break because I smashed all this soda water before we jumped on, and I actually do quite like this video, so I'm going to play this for 60 seconds. I will be back. Please fill your questions up. I'll be back in 60 seconds so we can continue with this stream. And trust me, this video, you're going to actually really like that. If you haven't seen this, this is one of the ones
Stu from UAV Futures here, and today we've got a super exciting episode where
jump in.
What this air show's all about. All right, let's do it.
Stuff out. So hopefully, let me know how this sound is coming through as well. Back in 60 seconds. What about, have you ever tried FPV racing?
Pretty chance we can borrow it for the weekend and test fly.
What I'm about to do.
Simulating the Romeo helicopter.
What do you reckon, Trev? Do you reckon he's, how good is Stuart Sims?
He's going to crash and burn.
I have flown quite a lot with goggles. Yeah.
So we
let's
got
do it. What do we got?
3 main controls here today. So on the floor you've got the pedals. You're pushing forward will drop your nose and make you go forward.
Yep, okay.
Pulling back.
Yep.
Go back.
So this is my pitch and roll.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's freaking me out a little bit. Adam, how are we going?
I think you're doing pretty well here at the moment.
Well,
Did you park it in the water?
yeah, I did. Isn't that what you meant to do? Over in this tent over here, what we're going to do, there's like a race between the different militaries around the world and also some other civic pilots all coming together over drone racing. So that's what we're here today for. We're going to go over there, film that, meet the pilots, talk about what drone racing means to them, and see if we can see any new tech. Anyway, let's do it. Have some fun in 3, 2, 1. Warrant Officer Chris Payne, flying officer Del O'Sullivan right here as well. Now the big one, come in boys, so we're a bit more into the camera. The big one today, this is all about, I guess, promoting drone racing as a sport, as a hobby.
We had Granger.
Ranger's gonna smash it.
That's what makes little jets, isn't it?
This is where baby jets come from, out of here.
I heard they're doing rides on a lady on.
Anyway, let's get back to it. Sorry, we had that little break. I don't know how long that took, but can press escape. And we're back. Okay, let's have a look here. Got a few questions to get through. I don't know if this has been scrolling down or not. Let's have a look. We answered favorite FPV camera. Okay. Sky High UAV, would you ever consider doing a motor review on the Apex Hornet? These motors, they seem really interesting and I want to use them on a 5-inch build. Probably not, to be honest. I find motor reviews all, in my experience, feel very, very similar. But let's have a look at the Apex Hornet. The 2603.6 motors sounds almost very gimmicky, but we'll find out. Apex Hornet 2306, and I guarantee, I can already tell just by typing it out, it sounds expensive. And Unibel Premium Motor Chrome, $37. Jesus. Okay, is this US? Oh no, that might be AU. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can find it. Pyro drone. Here we go. So, $24. They look cool. I guess $24 is an okay price. No, I don't want to join your newsletter, Pyro. Is it really going to make a difference? What's the difference? Why not just get a 2307? Are you really going to feel the difference? Don't get suckered in. This is something that I really hate, is the hype about these tiny little things. So someone will say, this right here is going to absolutely change your flight experience based on this is a 0.6 or a 2307, whatever it's going to be. You know what? These companies, and I'm not saying that this company, right? I'm not saying Pyrodrone is doing this, but some manufacturers or people who make their own products just seem to do a little iteration, and then once everybody's bought that, oh look, here's another one. Go buy this Go buy this one now, guys. Oh, but now I've put it with a blue version. Go buy this. So, and they're always super expensive, designed to suck in new people's money, and they think, gee, that's what I want. You know what? You could buy a $12 Emax Eco motor and still have just as much fun. Fun is what I'm answering there. Just as much fun. It might not have as much pop as this, whatever it's going to be, but just be wise with your money, unless you got heaps of it, and shout everyone motors. Anyway, back to answering some of these questions. Carlos D, I have a question at UAV Futures. I've got some teleporters I'm using to practice on. Should I mod them to take a diversity module, or stick with it till I have more money for some new goggle upgrades, and which one? Carlos, I'm going to say, let's have a look at the teleporters. They're getting kind of old. Can't spell correctly, but hopefully... No. Let's have a look here. Fat Shark. Teleporters. Oh, look at that. That's amazing typing we've got right here. But here's what we're looking at. Some Fat Shark. Do they even still sell them? Fat Shark, Fat Shark, Fat Shark. Fat Shark teleporters, anyway, are these really old ones just here. Should you mod them? Nah. $250. Jeez, do not buy this pair for $250. That's for sure. And they're used. What a scammer. Nope. I would say you are much better off just flying around with them until you can save up, get some something like the Sky Zone O2Cs, which also come with an inbuilt receiver. And where are you flying as well? Maybe you probably will be totally fine if you just use a patch antenna and flying in a beam, or even with one of these, just put a high quality antenna on there, and you don't have to go to those crazy bands or anything either. You'd be more than happy, say, on like Fat Shark 2, fly that around, have some fun. So I would say just save your money. Carlos, there you go. That's can answer that one quite easily. Let's have a look here, and remember to tag me with @UAV Futures if I haven't answered your question. It just makes it so much easier to see. Hazard FPV is saying DJI is kind of untouchable when it comes to the technology and the price that they're using. Definitely, especially with their camera platforms. I mean, they took GoPro out of the scene with their, was it the GoPro Karma quad? So that's no longer in the air as well. So yeah, literally something that fell out of the sky. But yeah, if a company like GoPro can't even compare and make a drone that competes with DJI, there's no hope really for us hobbyists trying to do that with the same camera platform on a price and feature function and form factor thing. All right. @UAV Futures, this one's from Ainsley. Guess what, Stu? Just did my first full lap of FPV FreeRider field in Acro. Woohoo! Congratulations. What I want you to do now, 3 full laps. That's the challenge. If you can do 3 laps without crashing, and give yourself a time to. That doesn't mean taking 1 minute per gate and then hovering. Oh, let's do the next one. Try it. You can just do 3 smooth laps. You're ready to go out of the field and fly around. Brian Barnes, thanks for checking in again, brother. Very much appreciated. Any news about the Eachine UZ65? No news unless I can Google it and tell you some news there, brother. 21 gram Whoop. Looks very similar to like the Happy Model one. Interesting. 61 pre-orders. I don't know how that would go. I guess, I don't know. If one turns up, I will let you know for sure. Speaking of Eachine products, check this one out. I had this sitting here. It's finally been decontaminated. I leave my drones actually for a little while, for a couple of days, just sitting out. And this is some stupid stuff about Eachine. I don't know why they do this with antennas and whatnot, but look at this little Eachine flying thing. I'm sure I could Google. I just literally pulled it out of the box. I don't even know the name of it just yet. But look at it. It's got actually a little DJI system in there. So that's going to be interesting. I might be able to get some indoor flying with this little craft. I don't even know what voltage it takes. Maybe I should just Google Eachine DJI. Who would think, eh? Here it is. That's only $200. Man, how much is that drone then? If a Cadex Vista, which is in there, is what that can't be the highest quality other parts in here. They would have had to have cut some costs to get that there. It looks like a lot of people. This person's flying around with a GoPro strapped to the top. All right. I guess it takes a 3S and a 4S. I'll probably fly mine on 3S and maybe do it for some indoor flying, but that should be a little bit of fun. Heart Pilot, hello from the Philippines. Well, hello from Australia, from my little garage cardboard box studio that I'm sitting in. We have Brian Barnes. Oh, we just answered that was the UZ65. It does look pretty cool. Scrolling down here a little bit. We need to get this in some sort of better situation. Makes it easier for me to have a look at. Can I use the Hawkeye goggles with the DJI drone? No, you cannot. So that's at the team. G-Dub FPV. Hey, Stu. How are you feeling about the CL Racing F7 board? Unfazed. CL Racing F7. Might have to do a straight Google for this. But honestly, most flight controllers, here's the spoiler alert, just do the same stuff. F4, F7, is it running Betaflight? Great. Is it got a target for the latest version? Spot on. Then that's it. Just solder it up and away you go. I don't feel like one flight controller performs significantly better than all the others. And, you know, you might not want to get the cheapest one from a terms of a reliability standpoint, but there's no need to spend. Some flight controllers are like $70, $80 and a complete rip-off. Don't buy into that hype. Don't waste your money on that. Carlos D is just saying thank you. Benjamin is asking, would you say the FlySky FSI6 is a good beginner radio? Not really. Like, how much is one of those nowadays? You're probably looking at $60. FlySky. Man, I'm not good at typing today. What's happening? IA6. Is it the 6S? Actually, did you say IA6 radio? Which one is that? Yeah, that's this radio here. It's coming in. You know, look, we've got some $70, $60 AU, $85 at Hobby Warehouse. I honestly think a better radio, you'd just be better off saving up for the Tyrannus X9. What is it? The X9 Lite. And how much? Oh, 150. Okay, it's double the price. Have a look. I thought you could get them for like $100 US. How much is a Turnigy Evolution? Let's have a look here. Do they even still sell these? They see $75. Here we go. At Hobby King. Something like this, I would prefer over the IS6B. But again, it's using FlySky, which I want to say, I'm not the biggest fan of FlySky. I started to get failsafes. I used them in about 2017, almost exclusively for a year. I never liked hooking up iBus because it's not as common, and it depends if you've got an inverted UART or not. That part can be frustrating. And of course, Hobby King doesn't want to load, so I don't know what's going on there. But, you know, if you must, I would prefer that radio. I've seen them as cheap as 50 Australian dollars as well, so maybe keep an eye on that, and you might be able to get those. I do like the form factor of them, though. Cody wants to know, what's a good patch antenna and pagoda? Mate, you're in luck here because we have, if I just Google 5.8 antenna, I think they both come up on the same search. Here we go. You can just get some of these. All of these I actually have found, even though they're the Real AC's cheap brand, totally fine for $3. You can't go wrong. And this antenna right here, the triple feed patch, performed spectacularly. The Real ACC one, even better than some of the Omways and some of the other fancy pants ones that use the same something. And the beauty is too, this one's open source, so you know, for $14 you cannot complain with this antenna right here. This patch antenna will also go left hand or right hand polarized. Okie dokie, and getting back to some other questions. Russ is saying, don't do it. You must be talking about getting the IA6B. It's definitely significantly harder to use on that than just using a FreeSky radio. And let's have a look here. Scrolling down. John Phaser is letting me know at UAV Futures the X9 Lite was $95 US this morning. Okay, so there you go. That's a much better price. Have a bit of a Google, shop around, see where you can find it. And Brendan Jackson pre-ordered the RX-16s, ordered a Mob 7 because I jumped the gun before I learned about the Trashcan. Grabbed a set of the 800Ds, pretty hyped. Should be set up for the quarantine. You know what? You're still going to have an amazing time. Don't feel too bad. The Mob 7 is very similar to the Trashcan. You're going to be flying around indoors. You're going to be also going to be able to go a little bit outdoors as well if you're flying around with the Trashcan. Just don't crash it into a big wooden sign. G-Dub FPV at UAV Futures. You got me flying with the original $99 build. You plan on doing a 2020 version. And can I be the head of UAV Futures in America? Probably not that second part. Probably, I'm not sure about the 2020 version of the, something drastically needs to be a huge update for it to be the UAV Futures $99 build. And it's also pretty hard to build a drone for $99. It's not as easy. If you go price everything out, it is extremely difficult to scrounge together that price. It's, you know, it takes a lot of work. You got to be lucky, and then you got to get things on special, and then when they're not on special, people get upset that, hey, the price has changed, all this sort of stuff. So you have a bit of a Google, and I'd be interested to see anybody's $99 build that they can come up with, actually. Hey, Dylan P, what's cracking? Thanks for tuning into the stream, my friend, and Bob Burford. And also, if you're watching this now, if you've got some questions, fire away. You know, you might want to learn something, put something in about FPV. I might have some knowledge, or maybe there's just nothing in here. I might be lacking in that particular part to answer your specific question, but fire your questions down below. Tag me with @UAV Futures. Bob Buffett is saying, have you done any builds with the Mamba MK11 stack? Very inexpensive and seems bulletproof on my UAV Futures $100 build. The Mamba stacks are great, and I believe if you look at the $99 build here, 99 UAV Futures, if we have a look at the description, let's have a look here. We have one of the Mamba stacks. If you read the description when we're talking about buying the ESCs and flight, we've suggested this as a bit of an upgrade. So definitely you should check out, that's the Mamba stack. It is a really, really good stack. I'm glad you're enjoying it. A lot of people say that as well. Fly07, wait, is there a head of UAV Futures in America? Did you miss the application process? Not really. Send me an email, provide me some board, and it should be good when I can come over and have a rip over there in the States as well. But probably not anytime soon, considering there's no planes really leaving our country. Welcome to Duck. Motors take nearly half your budget, then the FC comes in and crushes what's left. $99 is a very hard, absolutely. Well done, brother. Definitely appreciate you for the work. Thank you very much, G-Dub. And Cooper is, how do I know if my goggles and camera are compatible? They are both NTSC. So they will be compatible if they're 5.8 goggles and it's an FPV camera. So like you haven't just pulled something out of, I don't know, if you've bought any brand FPV camera that is sold as an FPV camera, it's going to be fine. Just make sure they're on the same channel. So that's what it needs to be. So make sure that it's on Fat Shark 1 and on your goggles, and Fat Shark 1 on your little VTX transmitter as well. And also, a lot of the goggles can switch. If they're both NTSC, then it's absolutely fine. That would be the only small configuration issue, and you'd get like some strange flickering. It would have the screen, and it just looks a bit off center if they're not both on the same format. But you're going to be fine, mate. They're going to be compatible. Please do more 30 days of freestyle challenge. I'm learning myself, so I'm rough. That's at Carlos D. There is some more planned coming. You know what? That's why I want to do the stream maybe like an hour or two earlier. So then when the afternoon comes, I can still work on those videos. What's the biggest beginner racing drone to grow into? That's from TSM Hype. So we've got, that would be, you guys say it with me. It's going to be in the chat. Actually, I'm not going to Google it. If anyone's watching, I'm sure they'll put it in the comments down below because I've answered that about 3 times this stream. We'll see who's still around. AVR FPV, what's the difference between KISS and Betaflight from one, and which one is better? Better in terms of, in my experience, I'm just going to say I prefer a Betaflight flight controller. KISS is closed source, it's expensive, and I don't think it performs as well, and it's harder to tune. But I don't have as much experience with it. And I would say there is a reason Betaflight is so popular. 90% of the hobby uses it. So if you have any problems, it's much easier to troubleshoot a Betaflight problem than a KISS problem. If you just Google Betaflight help videos versus KISS help videos, KISS is, I don't know, KISS is only popular because some famous people fly KISS. I don't think they would be where they are today without that push from, I guess, their sponsored pilots. Welcome, Dodgy. Yeah, Malice Vex, he's saying the Nazgul. That's a good drone to grow into. Kobe comes down to personal preference. I'm not sure what he's referring to there, but you can see most people are saying the Nazgul, except for Maple FPV, who's saying the Wizard 2 to X220, obviously to be a bit of a troll right there. Don't get the Wizard X220 as a good beginner drone to grow into. Alrighty. You can see, I'm joking. Please don't buy a Wizard. He just did. All right. Oh, thanks very much, Jello Band. Hopefully you've got some questions you can answer to there. So thank you very much for that super chat. It's not even any comments to type something in, please. Just giving me a super chat there. But let me know if you've got some comments or questions, if I can help you in any way. Please throw them down below. That is very much appreciated, especially in these times. We're going to answer while Jello Ban is typing out a question. Here we go. We do have his question. I want to ask a favor. When all the virus stuff is over, take Grumpy Trev out for a nice lunch. All right. Done. And then I can get my Mobula 6 back off that bugger too. So I definitely want to catch up with Grumpy Trev. He is super busy, but also we're not really allowed out to even go visit someone in the state where I am anyway. It's kind of, you can only go out for a few reasons. So if you need to get supplies, if it's for an essential service job, if you are medical, like going somewhere for a medical appointment or something medical related, or if you're going to care for somebody else. Maybe Grumpy Trev, I could just call him an old geriatric and say I'm just popping in there to care for the old bugger. But definitely we will go out for lunch for sure. Was saying Kobe saying personal preference for Kiss or Betaflight, doesn't matter though. Yeah, okay, my personal preference is Betaflight. I prefer that. The Kiss quads I've flown, they've been okay, but most of the time I fly Betaflight and I prefer that a lot more. I feel like the stock Betaflight tune is pretty damn good nowadays. Okay, so let's have a look here. Joey Portney, you are one of the main reasons I got into FPV. A lot of fire after that, so hopefully that's not too many lipo fires we're having there or too many crashes. But thank you so much, brother. That's you being in the hobby now because of that is the main reason I do this. It's to get you flying. It's to get people together, having fun, experiencing these amazing, fun little flying robots, meeting people, solving problems, being creative. Just, this hobby gives me goosebumps of how special it is. So thank you so much for letting me know, because that's the reason we do this. It is to get people like you into the air having fun, because I'm sure we can all agree it is very, very special. All right, Cooper Highland is saying, my Lava X flips over on takeoff on factory settings. Any idea, any tips on fixing that? Yep. It depends how much experience you have with drones. Please make sure you don't have turtle mode enabled, because that's exactly what it's designed to do. It's designed to flip the quad. So put it on a flat surface, recalibrate your gyro, make sure that your mapping is correct. So your TAER, I'll show you here, actually. This drone's coming in handy. Rather than me just telling you, I can also show you. So if we go here, I'll open up Betaflight. Let me know too what you think about these live streams. I feel like I'm getting better at showing a few different things. But okay, we're going to connect here. Make sure when you go to your receiver tab, here is your channel mapping. When you move the sticks, make sure these letters correspond to what's happening. So if you move your throttle, it's going to be moving your... You can't see what I'm pointing at on screen. If you move your throttle, make sure your throttle's here. When you move your yaw stick, make sure this stick is rolling. Then also, if you jump over and have a look at the modes, there should be one over here. Flip on, flip over after crash. Make sure, just for a while we troubleshoot this, just turn that off. Make sure there's nothing here, and then go and fly it and see if it changes it. If it is, if then that fixes it, come back, turn it back on, and adjust the range. So you can still use turtle mode. Just you don't want to be in your normal default position. You want it to be when it gets stuck upside down. Then you can flick like whatever that's on, auxiliary 3, flip the quad over, and then go back off and fly again. So hopefully that helped. That was quite convenient having this drone here, actually. Brian Barnes, are Beta FPV Whoops worth the price? Yeah, I actually think the 65X HD one was kind of pretty cool, actually. Listening to Stu while doing housework and chores. Most of the time, to be honest, I do my chores when I jump on Discord and I throw my headphones in, and I'm usually cleaning the kitchen or cooking a bit of tea, something like that. That's usually why I'm on Discord. So anyways, hopefully I'm making your housework a little bit more enjoyable. Carlos D, kind of bored here sometimes. Do you have any pieces that don't exist or can't buy that would be convenient to 3D print or 3D model? Because I can make some stuff if needed. I don't know what if you guys could have something 3D printed. What are you after? So I know people are always after GoPro mounts, but there's always so many of those. I'm not. I'm not sure actually if it came down. I have a 3D printer. I think I have all the TPU mounts and everything. The Cal is really good at making 3D printed TPU mounts, but I guess I have all the mounts. But let me know in the comments if you've got some stuff that needs printed. Maybe Carlos D might be your man if you jump in, have a chat on Discord, and I can already see some people. Look at this. We've even got Syntax over here in Trev's bleep line. Jump in, say hi to him while you're watching the stream. But if you need something printed, jump in there, have a bit of a chit chat, and who knows, Carlos, maybe we'll be able to help somebody out in there as well. Oh, and William Burrows saying too, if the quad is flipping over, maybe the props are on backwards. That could be that's so simple. I can't believe I missed that one. Yes, the props could also be on backwards. Let's see. And Ben is also saying jump in Discord if that doesn't work. And Malice is saying make sure you put the props on the right way as well. And Mr. Sprinkles, reminds me of Mr. Sparkles off the Simpsons. I just crashed my 3-inch into a metal flagpole, and the only thing that survived were the motors and bottom plate. That's kind of what happens, brother. If you're especially some of those 3 inches can go over 100 miles per hour, so they definitely do explode. I found the best bit to stop your drones exploding is to not crash them into metal poles. Let's have a look. G-Dub, hey Stu, show us a different quad. I know. All right, I did today. I had this one here today. I was talking about this one. I could have plugged this in, but yeah, we didn't. Carlos D, he's just willing to help. Watching a few things pop up on Discord. Ethan is asking, hey, what do you think the cheapest, smallest FPV drone that could carry a GoPro Hero 7? I would say smallest, cheapest. See, and you want to put a GoPro on there. I really just think, I don't know about the smallest, but of course, a good value one that people should get is the Nazgul. So yeah, just think, I bet you if I just even go back, it's going to be here. Let's see, here we go. This one. There you go, $200. Sorry to burst your bubble if you were hoping for something a bit smaller, a bit cheaper. It's going to require a lot more work to do that. You're probably not going to get cheaper than that and have a reliable drone that I would want to stick a GoPro Hero 7 on. Kupal Halen, goggle pairing demo. Okay, goggles don't need to pair. They just need to be turned on. So I can show you a demo that it would go like this. I'm putting my goggles on, powered them on. I've read the manual and it says do this to change channels. Press these buttons. Click, 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 click. Oh, look, it says it's on F1. Oh, that's what it is, which is 5740. I've read that in the manual. Okay, this is all read. That's great. Now, how do I get that to connect to my drone? I plug my drone in. Oh, let's see. Click, 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 click. I've changed my drone to that channel. Or maybe it's smart audio. You could go into the smart audio settings, and I'm sure I have a guide on that, which I'll link in a minute. You can go through, put this on F1 5740. They don't need to do any pairing or any binding. This is sending out the correct signal. This goggle headset is on the channel. It's going to do that. Now, of course, there are going to be some differences. Yours is not going to be a SodaStream bottle. It's going to be a powered on goggle, but that's as easy as it is. All right. Don't forget, all FPV drones have obstacle avoidance. You'll find it on the front side of your radio, 2 big sticks that let you avoid objects. That is correct. So those gimbals, I find, are the best obstacle avoidance buttons on your radio. Definitely be using them when you're flying around. Gee, I hope your Nazgul shares do well out of this. I should put my Nazgul link in the description above, actually. Let's see, what else we got? FPV spin. Hi Stu. If money's no issue, what goggle antenna would you recommend? Antennas. I would still get, let's have a look here, the Real ACC triple feed patch. because I really liked that antenna. It worked really, really well. And I had all the others. I had all the brand name ones, everything like that. But it was like 14 bucks, and I guess that's what I'd be choosing. We have Skylar Romero. Where do you stand with the Jumper T60 radio? Do you think it's okay for beginners, or is there better bang for buck? I think it's good. It is a good price for beginners. I have gotten some failsafes with mine, and there was another viewer in here. I can't remember who was chatting about that. That also had some failsafes as well. But it's a good radio. I feel like the build quality isn't quite as high as FreeSky. However, there's the TBS Tango 2, which seems to be the radio choice, but that's out of stock. That's nowhere to be seen, and it's a little bit more pricey as well. FPV Nick, did you get my email the other day, you lazy bugger? Yes, I do need to go through my emails. There's still about 40 in there, which I need to answer, to be honest. I've been kind of, I guess, getting distracted, working on some things, and I don't know, having a toddler makes it tricky. This is like one part of some uninterrupted time I have to get through some things, but I will respond soon, I promise. I just saw, speak of the devil, Wingman Jono pop up, and of course, what was he doing? He was playing Monster Hunter. Get off the computer, Jono. Jump in here, have a chat on the stream. What day is it? It's Sunday. That's right, because we call this Stu's Sentimental Special Sunday Session. It's bad when you're making yourself laugh. Carlos D, what I mean is like antenna mount on your drone, that weird that you prefer to relocate it, or some weird part that is discontinued, something like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure actually. One part, this is kind of a bad mount I found on this one. Like, look at this antenna. Why do they do this? They've made these TPU mounts here, but they're kind of garbage on this little drone. So this needs to hold this antenna a lot better. I don't even know what the point of this top. Let's have a look in here. That is doing nothing. It's just asking to break, so I'm gonna have to zip tie that down. All right. We've got a few people answering. Oh, everybody's answering each other questions. Ethan's saying the same bottle every time. Save the environment. That's it, man. I feel like I'm addicted to SodaStream. Every day, I'll probably have like 4, 5 of these bad boys. So I don't drink normal water anymore. It's just always these. Sponsored by SodaStream. Okay, it's 11:20 p.m. here on Saturday. So where's that, Brian? Is that in the UK? Because it's almost, no, that's got to be US. That's US. Because I know old man Russ, Donnie, some of the boys over in the US, when I talk to them on Discord, they're always 12 hours behind, and then with 2 difference, which is 14. Okay, hi there from Colin is asking, new to FPV, best most realistic flight feel FPV simulator you'd recommend? Best or most realistic, because they're 2 separate things. Best, probably a toss up between Velocidrone and Liftoff. I'm sorry, most realistic. Excuse me, best. I really do like the DCL sim. I had a lot of fun with that. And Brian is saying he's in Pittsburgh, and John is saying the same. You guys should meet up for a fly, honestly. Get together, have a bit of fly when this corona stuff is over. I'm not saying go break any curfews or anything like that. And B. Leakis IIS2 at UAV Futures. Why haven't you reviewed any 7 inches? Because they're just not that common. They don't come along that often. I think we did do Fly No Shop UAV Futures. I think it was the Skull V3. Let's have a look here. Here we go. The Skull V2. This was from 2 years ago. I don't know what size drone it was. Maybe it was a 7-inch. Here we go. Here we go. I'm doing a little bit of parody or something at the start. Let's check this out. You're not going to believe the size of this one. Oh. Okay.
Am super
so we
pumped.
do have a review of this bad boy if you want to go watch this on the channel. It was pretty intense, but I didn't quite get the flight times I was hoping, actually. I feel like it might have been a little bit too inefficient to send it with those props as well. They would have been much better on some bi-blade props. All right. Back to this. Cancel this. Roger, roger. Okay. Um, Cooper is saying, sorry to annoy you again. You will be, but the camera is on the same channel and it's still not connected. Is there any more tips? I think I'm going insane. I don't know so what are you just getting a black screen? You know what? You've taken the lens cap off, right? So hopefully that's there. Otherwise, I'm not too sure because I feel like, can you try it on a different channel? Can you try and change them on some different channels? And maybe if worse comes to worse, something I like to tell people who email me with these problems is make a video of it. If you can make a video showing me exactly what you've done and just film it all on your phone and plug some things in, say this is the screen, this is that, and show me how it's all wired together and what's happening. Check that out. Also, it could be a flat battery. Have you tried charging your battery? Sometimes it's enough to power it on just a little bit to send some of the LEDs off, but you are not powering enough to. I've thought I've had broken quads before. Turns out I'm just using a flat LiPo. Ethan M. I'm from North Brisbane. I skate a lot, but Dan, the skate parks are closed. Sometimes I fly in skate parks and dive the rams. I'm pretty sure he means ramps right there. So I don't know, what's the FPV scene like up in Queensland? Shout out to where was some people from? I think talking to some pilots in Narang. I know one pilot in Narang up there, and also I think Fisted is up there. Let's have a look. This one is from Braden Michael. Would love to get you over here in California for the race, to race. Thank you very much for that super chat, Braden. You wouldn't believe it, but with the rate the Australian dollar is going, that $2 donation there, that super chat, might even be enough to buy like the whole team over, fly them over there, which is probably about 20 bazillion Australian dollars when you do the conversion. So thank you very much. Definitely, I would love to get over to the US sometime with the whole crew, go to like one of those big race meetups like Muncie or something like that. That kind of is the dream. Granger might be going, I don't even know if it's going to be happening this year, or he was going to be going to the next one when I was last speaking to him, but I'm not sure if that's still the case with the world in lockdown. But definitely the US is on, it's like on the dream list, and Cal wants to go there as well. There'd be so many pilots I could just meet up, even go into like a flight test event or something special where we could just hang out with you guys, and I could say thank you in person to all the people that enjoy my videos and watch the content and leave these nice comments and messages, and all my Patreons and people like you who are helping out on the channel and helping me spread this message of FPV. Getting to the States definitely would be very, very cool. All right. The antenna, G dub FPV, the antenna switches on the bottom of goggles. Need more info. William Barlow, UAV Futures. What is my preferred drone to fly? What's my favorite size of drone to fly and why? Probably a 5-inch. I really feel like it's got a special place in my heart. It's got a nice mix between power, speed. It can carry a GoPro. It can carry a small payload if you need it to. They've got good flight times. They're just a cool grunty piece of machinery. And I never understood when people would, rev car engines up and the other car heads would be like, "Oh, wow, listen to that." I just be like, that's totally not what I'm interested in, at all. But when people punch a drone out, now I get it, because I'm like, "Oh, listen to that thing scream. Yeah, give it some full throttle, give it some stick." It feels the same kind of way. So yeah, probably a 5-inch. But it depends on your environment. It doesn't. That's my preferred one to fly. But on top of that, my preferred thing to fly is something with your friends. So whether you're doing micros inside, whether you're at a little 3-inch racing track, whether you're doing freestyle, I prefer to be with just with some other pilots having fun where we can all be flying together. That's my main priority. That's when I'm going to have the most fun. That's my preferred flying session versus just flying alone with a single craft. But if I did have to fly alone, it would be a 5-inch. Carlos D. I was going to order a backpack from Hobby King and they wanted to charge me $68 for shipping. Ouch. Any other recommendations? Maybe secondhand? Yeah, I might even have a backpack bag review. I know we spoke about bags before. UAV Futures bag. Yeah, if you just Google UAV Futures backpacks, there's a couple actually of videos that I've done. Perfect value drone backpack. So this is the bag that I use every day. Here we look at a $38 one, compare it to Tony's $200 low pro one. Here we've got some other options. This one was my first. Look at this date, 2016. This video was like 20. This bag was like $20. Got another $39 one. This one, the Hive bag, was extremely expensive. But even Bot Grinded and Mr. Steel decided to pop into this video as well. Let's see, what are we getting? We're getting a jaw chewing commercial right now. Chisel jaw, just what I need. All right. Absolute pain and nightmare to fit inside.
So much. How much?
Maybe you're trying to impress those FPV ladies down at the park. Well, you need the Betaflight Hive
Backpack. I definitely wouldn't be able to build my van without it.
When it comes to my biceps, bling, and my illegal bridge dives in Canada, nothing helps me more than this Betaflight backpack. My skills have actually improved as a direct result of this bag.
Is this in focus?
Anyway, if someone tuned into my stream right now, they'd be like, what is happening? Okay. G-Dub is saying the guy with the goggle issues, is the receiver switch on or off? Oh, that could be it. So if you're using Fat Sharks and you've got your module in there, there is a little switch underneath that can turn your RX receiver on or off. But I thought from memory using some cheaper goggles that didn't have that. But you might have a little receiver switch on your goggles. Flick that, and that should, if it was on Fat Sharks and the receiver switch was off, you would definitely be seeing a black screen. However, I believe when we're talking about diagnosing that problem that the screen was only going black when he plugged the camera in, and when he unplugged it, it was going back to static. Okay, some people talking about resin printers, and there we go. Some people laughing about Bot Grinder. Younger Buckets, what are some good tips for getting comfortable with the FPV part of drone flying? Just practice on the sims, so you don't have to worry so much about the stick control, and then it's just having the goggles on and flying it around and seeing what it's like. Oh, and we've got another good answer too. Sorry, we're trying to diagnose this problem here about the FPV cam. It could also be you've got pit mode on. So see if you can change the channel on your little camera and make sure pit mode is not on there as well. All right. What do I think? This one's from Ethan. What do I think of the Eachine Pro DVR, or have you not had it? Let's see if we've had a Google to answer some of those questions. Eachine Pro DVR UAV futures. Must include Pro. I don't know about the Pro version, but I have checked out the other one. I'm not sure what the Eachine Pro DVR is. Let's have a look. Let's have a laugh and find out, shall we? There's the Nazgul. Man, oh look, when I Google Eachine Pro DVR. Oh, this one. Yep, I have reviewed that, or maybe it's this one I've reviewed. I've definitely seen both of them. I'd probably get this one though. So the EV100 micro AV recorder I think is better than this one. Okay, all right, the orange one, that's what Ben's saying. He must be all over it. Cooper, what's your email final? What is your email final question? UAVfutures@gmail.com. The camera guy, NTSC Bpal. He said they're both NTSC. Lucas P is asking about minimum command in Betaflight. Yes. You need to make sure, especially when it comes to arming your throttle, make sure your throttle is below the minimum command. So your quad often won't arm if it's getting some, like a signal of like say 1200. It's never gonna arm because it needs to be below that minimum command to arm. So that's a good little tip. If you can't figure out why your quad is not arming, as well as typing in status in the CLI, often check your minimal command. FPV Spin is saying at UAV Future, silly question, but have you taken the lens cover off the camera? That's what I said to him as well. Make sure there's no lens cap on there. Too easy. And I think, unless people have got some final questions, I am going to eat some lunch and then take the kid for a walk around the block and then push her on the swing, because we can't go to the park here, so I built a swing out the back. And it's kind of like, except the annoying part, right? Here's something I've learned. If you've got kids or young toddlers and you make something really fun the first time, you're going to be asked to do that every single time. So this time I learnt my lesson when it comes to pushing it on the swing. It's just normal pushing. There's no silly games. I'm not jumping in front being too silly, because when we go to the normal park, she loves to, I have to push her and then I have to pretend to stand there. She knocks me over. Oh, what are you doing? And she thinks it's hilarious. Again. I can't go to the park without playing that game. So I made sure this time when I was pushing her on the swing that I built out the back. It's just some chilled out swing pushing. All right, Malice Vex is wanting to know the meaning of life. I don't know. We're talking about your life, like sitting around, just chilling out all day, becoming nocturnal, playing video games, and then just every single day just chilling. Malice pretty much has the dream life for everybody. Would you like to do this? Would you like to just stay up all night playing video games and just every single day just chilling all day? You don't have to worry about work or anything tomorrow. You've just totally got it most chilled out. All right, so go join Malice's channel if you want to check him out as well. He's a pretty cool pilot, and I would almost consider him a nice person. If he wasn't a mate, I'd probably say something nice about him. But let's have a look. Also, in Betaflight, we actually need to switch on the warnings in the motors to arm. People are saying, oh, he did want to know the meaning of life. It's 42. We're getting some old school references right there. William Burrow is saying, all the comments are flying in just as I was about to disappear. So quick, throw them in. William, it wants to know, any problems with the Lava X motors falling off? I've killed about 10 motors at about 10 feet, and when they fell off, the damn motor thing fell right off, stripped the motor holes in the process. No, I haven't had that. Maybe try a little bit of Loctite. Yeah, I would say check those motor screws maybe and put a little bit of Loctite on them. If you've stripped them though, that's not good. They are tiny little motors though, so you need to be careful when you're tightening them up. Skylo wants to know, I'm not a dad, but I'm an uncle. And second, what you show kids and the new thing they enjoy, that is the end of it, there's no end. That's right. When you throw a kid up in the air, again, your arms are going to be so tired from doing that sort of stuff. Props off, you have a future. So good to see you. Enjoy them while they're little. It goes fast. And the kid is pretty much 3. It was my daughter was 3 when you first started watching me. So yeah, it's come a long way. Too easy. Any tips on removing thread lock? Well, hopefully use the blue one. If it's the one that is just like pretty much glue that doesn't dissipate, I don't. Maybe boiling it in some water and then trying. I'm not too sure. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely subscribe for more FPV related content. Let me know what you're thinking about these streams, all this sort of stuff. And other than that, subscribe. I said that subscribe part. So as always, happy flying, and I might see you guys tomorrow. All right, catches. I've got to click this end stream. And thanks for sticking around. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters. Thanks to all the people who put questions in. Huge thanks to those people who put super chats in, because it makes a huge difference, especially in times like this when it actually is tricky to get outside and try to do some work. I don't know how to end this stream. We're just going to have to stream forever. Rightio. Got it. Anyway, happy flying. And stream.